you what, if you're gonna travel in a beautiful car, stop on that totally breaks down. You know what I mean?
You know that feeling when someone is talking and you just can't stop thinking, but you don't say anything? Most people think I'm shy or rude or maybe secretly plotting to steal their Netflix password. But the truth is, sometimes silence isn't emptiness. It's intelligence taking a breath. And if you've ever felt like your brain runs faster than your mouth, well, you're about to understand why that might be a superpower. Hey, welcome to I Think Now, the channel that explores the hidden corners of your mind, the quiet struggles of thinking too much, and the weird ways our brains make sense of a noisy world. If you've ever felt a little out of place because you think differently, or because you sometimes speak less than everyone else in the room, this one's for you. Before we deep dive, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. Comment if you are a talk too much type of person or a silence person. Let us know in the comments. I used to think I was broken. Growing up, every room felt like a stadium, and my brain was a library that nobody wanted to visit. Everyone around me seemed to have this magical gift of saying exactly what they thought at exactly the right moment. And me? I'd rehearse my words for 3 minutes, and still, nothing. Silence for me wasn't awkward. It was survival. And apparently, it scared people. "Why don't you talk?" they'd ask, like my mouth was some broken faucet. But here's the thing. The world we live in now is loud, really loud. Social media, notifications, group chats, endless noise. Most people are trying to prove they exist with words, and if you're quiet, the world mistakes that for weakness or emptiness. But here's the secret. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is preparation. Silence is a mind sorting, connecting, reflecting. It's a mental gym where ideas lift weights before they're ready to speak. Think about it. People who talk nonstop are often just thinking while talking. But deep thinkers, we process before speaking. We measure, weigh, edit, rehearse internally. And sometimes we just let the thought live in us without putting it out into the world. Because not every thought needs an audience. Nietzsche wrote, "The higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly." And honestly, that's how I felt most of my life. Like my quiet wasn't a flaw, it was altitude. I was seeing farther, thinking deeper, and yes, it scared people. Let me take you inside my head for a second. Warning, it's messy. Most people think silence is boring. They imagine a quiet person as empty. But being quiet isn't emptiness. It's a full house you're just not letting anyone enter. I remember one time in school, the teacher asked a question. Everyone shot their hands up, blurting answers. And me, I was already 3 steps ahead, imagining the implications of every possible answer, making connections no one else even noticed. I could have raised my hand, I could have said something, but the words never came out. By the time I was ready, the conversation had moved on, and people looked at me like I'd disappeared. Susan Cain, in her book, Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking, talks about this. She says there's zero correlation between being the loudest talker and having the best ideas. And that stuck with me. Because my silence was thinking. My silence was building worlds in my head. Most quiet thinkers live like this, multitasking in our minds, replaying conversations, imagining scenarios, deconstructing thoughts. And it's exhausting sometimes. You can't explain it easily to people who live on the surface. Humor me for a second. Imagine thinking so much that when you finally open your mouth, your words feel like luxury items. Carefully crafted, packaged, expensive. And people? They're used to dollar store words. That's why they call you weird or awkward. I once spent an entire dinner analyzing the ethics of telling my friend a tiny white lie. By the time I decided what to say, everyone had moved on to dessert. And I sat there, mouth full of thought, stomach full of anxiety, realizing this is what being a deep thinker feels like in a shallow world. Let's talk about loneliness, but not the no one likes me kind of loneliness. I'm talking intellectual loneliness, the kind where you're surrounded by people and still feel like you're on another planet. Nietzsche called this kind of solitude a necessary companion of genius. He said, "He who climbs upon the highest mountains laughs at all tragedies, real or imaginary." In other words, to think deeply, to see beyond the obvious, is often isolating, and sometimes painfully so. I remember sitting in a coffee shop, overhearing a conversation about someone's new favorite show. And while everyone was laughing, my mind was calculating the cultural significance, the psychological patterns, the narrative archetypes. I wanted to comment, I wanted to connect, but it felt meaningless, like my thoughts couldn't fit in the small cup everyone else was drinking from. This is the cost of thinking. It's not glamorous, it's being aware of things most people never notice. The irony is, the louder the world gets, the quieter you feel. You crave connection, but not just any connection that matters. And that's rare. But here's the funny part. Once you accept that solitude isn't punishment, it becomes a superpower. Because in solitude, you hear yourself think. And if you're listening closely, your mind starts to notice patterns, possibilities, ideas that no one else even sees.
Through twisted halls, I search for light.
So how do you not just survive as a quiet thinker, but thrive? First, stop apologizing for being quiet. I spent years thinking I had to match other people's noise. Social media told me I needed to post, comment, like, share constantly. And every time I stayed silent, I felt wrong. But silence is a tool. Silence is a signal. Silence is life. Second, embrace mental processing. Your brain is your playground. You can't outsource thinking. Some of my best ideas came while staring at a blank wall or walking aimlessly down a street. The quiet world is full of signals if you're paying attention. Third, value depth over speed. People talk fast because it's easy. Deep thinkers talk slow because it's hard. And slow is meaningful. Slow words are loaded with thought, with emotion, with context. They hit harder, last longer, and often change someone's perspective entirely. I remember explaining a concept about empathy to a friend. I could have given a short, catchy sentence, but instead, I explained it with metaphors, stories, examples, and pauses. By the end, My friends' eyes were wide, and they said, "Wow, I never thought about it like that." That's the power of deliberate speech. That's the payoff of silence. Here's the truth. Speaking less doesn't mean hiding. It means choosing. Choosing when, where, and how your thoughts enter the world. Deep thinkers aren't antisocial. We're anti-shallow. We're selective about the energy we give. And in a world where attention is currency, silence is wealth. To those who feel different, who speak less, who overthink, your quiet is not a problem. It's your edge. Your mind is a library. Your silence is not empty. It's full of possibilities, insights, and truths that most people never even consider. So the next time someone asks why you don't talk much, smile. Don't explain. They won't understand. Instead, let your mind do the talking, in its own time, in its own way. And when you finally speak, your words will resonate because they were worth waiting for. Nietzsche, Susan Cain, and every deep thinker in history would agree, the quiet mind is powerful. The reflective soul is brilliant. And your silence? It might just be the loudest thing you have. Thanks for spending these few minutes inside my head. If you ever feel alone because you speak less or because your thoughts run faster than the conversation, remember, you're not broken. You're just thinking differently. If this resonated with you, make sure to subscribe to I Think Now, and let's explore more of the hidden corners of the mind together. Because being a thinker doesn't mean being alone. It means being awake. For more such deep dives and deep thinks, click to the left or right of your screen. And don't forget to start thinking now.